So hi and welcome back. Today in this video we are going to create a calculator, basic calculator using JavaScript so that you can understand how things are pretty much done. So I will now write a HTML file here. I'm having a HTML file, and for your ease I will be styling all the stuff over here itself. We'll be using a differ and we'll have calculator.js. Everything is fine. Now inside this, I am now going to have a div, which is the class of cal container, like this. Let's save this, and this is the title will be calculator with the capital C. Save this, and now in the styles, I want to do a display flex direction row, justify content center, align items to a center. Height I want to get of 600 pixels. Save this. Okay. And let's also give it a border 2 pixels, solid dark gray. Now let's check this if this is absolutely fine. Do a reload. Okay, so now things are pretty much fine. And also would like to have a width of 600 pixels, or I can also decrease this to something as 300 pixels and 300 pixels. Okay, it's up to you how you want. I will keep it just like this. We'll try to decrease the width by 350 and the height will be somewhat like this. Okay. Now inside this we want to have a buttons, so we'll make some buttons. Okay, we'll make a button 1 0 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 0. Let's draw the values as well. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 0. Let's hit save, do a reload, and here are our buttons. In order to design those buttons, I want to group them in three groups. So let's do a div 3 buttons, then a div 3 buttons, and then the last div with 3 buttons. Let's hit save and do a reload. Now these are quite separated. Now let's shift the shape of this to column. Let's hit save and do a reload. Now they are pretty much fine. Now I can also design the buttons. So I want my button, or I can say that all of these chunks. Let me just grab all the buttons at once. We'll have class of calc num button btn. Okay. So this is looking fine. We have those classes, and now I can assign button dot that class. And for this class, now I want to have a padding of let's say 12 pixels. Let's hit save, do a reload. Okay, I want to set the width of each button to 150 pixels, and I think this is quite long, so let's do it somewhat around 80 pixels. Okay, these are fine. I want to have the margin for each button. Let's say I want to give it a margin of 8 pixels. Okay, the margin is also given, and I want the border to be 1 pixels of solid dark gray. I want the background color of this button to be let's say I want to design it with the Dodger blue, DOGER Dodger blue. Let's hit save and do a reload. Fine. And I want the text color to be white. Let's hit save. Okay. and I want this. I want the font size to be 20 pixels inside this button. Okay, and I want the border radius for this button. Border radius to have 2 pixels for border radius. Do a reload, and I think 5 would be fine for this activity. Okay, this is also fine, and also I can assign this calc button class to button 0 as well. Calc numeric buttons, and do a reload. Yeah, now this is fine. Now, in top of this, I want to have completely an input. So let's assign this input. Input is there. We can design this input as well. Let's give it a class. This will be calc display input. Let's design this as well. Display input dot, and now I wanna stretch it to width 100%. Okay, or I can set it to 300 pixels. Let's set it to 280. I think 270 will be fine. Okay. Let's have the padding inside this. Padding should be 10 pixels. Okay, now we can reduce it to 265, I guess. 260 will be fine, I think. Okay. And shrink it to 257, I guess. Okay. And the background for this will be light green. Fine. And the text align should be right. Okay. So text align is right. I want the font size to be 18 pixels, and I want the font weight should be bold enough. So the font weight is bold. Okay. Now things are fine. Okay. So this will be the setup for this. Also, I can give it an ID of 1 BTN like this. Okay, can assign the ID because I want to grab these buttons. Okay. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Done. Now let's over here try to grab this button. Button 1 is equal to document dot get element by ID, and I will grab that 1 BTN. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 0. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Fine. Okay. Now let's also. Now this is fine. Okay. And we want that whenever we type something like this, that should be available over here. So what all we can do in this, we just need to now grab our display as well. So grabbing the display is equal to document.getElement by ID, and the display button is also available. Okay, and now there will be also one let display string, so we can have display content and set it to 0 for now. And for the initial phase, we can do display is display dot inner text. is equal to display content for now, like this. So if I hit save, I'm sorry, this is not a ID, this is class. So let me just give same as a ID. Now do a reload and I can give it idea of display input, display input. Now we need to not in a text, but the value prop will have 0. And now this is visible. Let me also increase the size a bit so that you can view. Yeah. So you can see a 0 is here. Okay. And let's say if I'm clicking on button 1, okay, and I want to add a event listener on this, adding a click on adding a click event. Okay. Let's have a function. And on this function, I wanna set the display value. Okay. Let's say to 1. Let's hit save, do a reload. Let's check if this thing is there. Okay, 1 is there. Okay, so similar actions can perform with different functions. Let's say button 2, button 3. Okay, and let's again save this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. Okay, so 3 is there, 4 is there, 5 is there, 6 is there, 7 is there, 8 is there, 9 is there, and the button 0 is there. And let's check if all those things are working. So 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and the 8, and the 9, and the 0. Let's do a reload. Yeah, now these things are working. You can see all the buttons are being shown over here. Okay, and now all things are pretty much clear. And also, what we can do now, we can do something like this. Let me show you what I was doing. Okay, if there is a display value, we can just display value was previously, we can do display value is equal to this. Okay, now 1, or we can do like display content. The first time it was this. Okay, it started with this, or we can also remove this property. We don't need this here. We can just set the default value to be 0, like this.